I could really use a change of scenery. Yeah. Everybody smoking all the greenery. Yeah. Close the match 'cause they were handed down to me. But I'm still fly, I know. I'm still fly, let's go.
Alright, so before we get into it, I just want to say thank you for helping me get to 50 episodes, and as of today, 1,000 subscribers. You're awesome! So to show you my appreciation, I'm going to show you how to make Budae Jjigae, or army-based stew. This dish is the result of the end of the Korean War, as American soldiers left behind things like Spam, hot dogs, baked beans, and American cheese. And because food was scarce in South Korea following the war, they adapted these new ingredients with traditional ones like gochujang, anchovy stock, and of course, kimchi. It's become an iconic staple in Korean cuisine and is responsible for so many dishes that followed using these non-traditional ingredients. It's also become an absolute love of mine. I've already had videos showing how to make most of the components to this dish, but for today, I'm sticking with the originals, because this dish is also incredibly cheap to make. So the first thing we're going to do is make a sauce. In a small bowl, combine minced garlic, soy sauce, mirin, sweet Japanese cooking wine, anchovy or fish sauce, gochugaru, Korean hot pepper flakes, rice syrup, and some freshly cracked black pepper. Give it a good mix and set aside. Now there's really not much in the way of prep for this, it's mostly just chopping and slicing a few things. There's also no right or wrong list of ingredients either, as it varies from region to region, so I'm just going to show you what I like in mine. We're going to start by slicing one small onion. Generally speaking, there's some sort of pork in Budae Jjigae, and you can use ground or pork shoulder, but for me, it's bacon. I go for something that's got a good smoky flavor to it, but any bacon will do. One ingredient that is common in most Budae Jjigaes is hot dogs, or at least some kind of sausage. But one ingredient that could definitely be considered mandatory is Spam. It's basically been a staple of this dish all the way back to its beginnings. Tofu is another common one, but it's more a matter of preference. We're also going to need some thinly sliced green onion, because of course we are. I'm also separating the whites from greens, as one will be cooked and the other will be garnish. The last few ingredients are some homemade kimchi, pork and beans, and thanks, instant ramen. Now the ideal pot for this is something wide and shallow like this cast iron one, but ultimately you can use whatever you'd like. You do you. There is no wrong way of doing this, and you could just throw everything in and call it a day. But the best way to do it is to have everything in nice little bunches around the pot. That way when it's all done, you can easily pick what things and how much of those things you want to put in your bowl. Rice cakes are not a super common ingredient in Budae Jjigae, but I'm a sucker for a chewy rice cake, so I also add them to mine. After everything's been added, pour the sauce in the center. Top with enough water to almost cover everything and bring to a boil over high heat. You can absolutely use stock instead of water, but with the amount of things that are in here that are going to be flavoring the liquid, I don't find it necessary. Once it comes to a simmer, make sure the onions, bacon, and rice cakes are submerged, as they're the only ingredients that actually need to be cooked rather than just heated through. It's also incredibly rare for me to say this, but don't season your Budae Jjigae, as there's more than enough salt in there already. When the liquid has reduced by about a third, clear a spot in the center and nestle the ramen noodles inside. You can always add a bit more water to make sure the noodles get cooked if you need to. When the noodles are just about done, it's time for the final ingredient, a slice of good old American cheese. Top with the green onion, and that's it, Budae Jjigae. In addition to being a giant pot of pure comfort food, this dish is incredibly fast and easy to make. And this massive portion cost me about $15 to make, which is pretty damn good if you ask me. If you like my content and want to help me make another 50 episodes, you can check out my Ko-fi page. I'll leave a link in the description. Thanks for watching, and stay awesome.